Hey guys, it's Chef Pyet Despain, also the Next Level Chef winner from Gordon Ramsay's latest cooking show. I wanted to share a fun recipe with you to diversify some of the proteins on your Thanksgiving table this year. I have a pecan crusted halibut with a wajapi sauce. Now, wajapi is Lakota word for berry sauce. So I've taken 3 different types of berries and cooked them down into a thick sauce you're gonna coat over the top of that fish, and it's gonna be delicious. The first step is going to be making the wajapi sauce. So here I have a small pot here that's on a medium to high heat, and all you need to do is add some of your favorite berries. Now, if you didn't know, berries are actually indigenous to the Americas. So here I have some blueberries, some raspberries, and blackberries, and you can just add them to your pot. Oop, they're spilling over everywhere. I think they're going to be okay. So now that we have all of our berries in the pot, you can just wait for them to cook down on their own. You don't want them to burn, so you want just a light simmer. So if your flame is up too hot and you can hear them sizzling, you can turn your heat down to a simmer. What we also want to do is sweeten it a little bit with some maple syrup. Not too much. And just a pinch of salt, just to balance all of those sweet flavors out. So these berries actually have a natural tartness and sweetness to them, so we don't want to add too much of the sweetness in there, but the salts with the sweetness and the tartness from the berry will add a nice little touch to each other. And then you can just place the lid on it and carry on with your other recipes and your other dishes that you're going to be preparing for your dinner. So I'll go ahead and move on to my fish. Now this is a beautiful halibut here, and the ingredients are very, very simple for this. You're going to want to create a nice crust for your fish. So I'm going to be using some pecans here that have been grounded down. You can find pecans that are halved or chopped, and if you want a little bit more finer of a consistency, you can just toss them into a food processor or a blender and pulse them until you reach this sandy-like texture here. So I'm going to get some panko breadcrumbs and mix it in. And I can just use my hands here just to kind of mix them all in. And then for the flavor component to this crust, I'm going to be adding some fresh thyme. Now, all these ingredients here, I try to keep it a little bit more indigenous and Native American focused, because that's what I specialize in. I'm also Native American and Mexican American, so I like to stick true to the flavors that I know and that I love. So here I have some sumac I'm also going to put into that little panko and pecan crust mixture. And we can add a little bit of our salt, which I placed back here. Bring it forward. There we go. And a little bit of pepper just to balance out all of those flavors. Now, in order to get like a really nice even coat on our crust, you can go ahead and put your crust here, the ingredients, into like something that's flat. That way you can use your fish to get a nice coat on it. So I have some oil here too, so we can add the oil. So this oil will actually allow the coating to stick onto the fish a little bit better. You just want to go ahead and pat dry it like that. Now this is such a good fish to saute in a pan with the crust because it's nice and thick. It's going to be almost too hard to overcook. And you'll just coat it like this. It'll keep some nice juicy flesh in the middle of it too. If your mixture here gets a little too dry, just add a little bit more oil, but the oil is really going to be the binder to your fish. So here, it looks so beautiful. And there you have it. Now that your fish is nice and beautifully coated, see that? And now all we need to do is just hop on over to our saute pan and sear it for 2 minutes on each side. I'm going to take some of my sunflower oil here and add it to my pan just to evenly coat. Now I really like to use sunflower oil when I'm cooking because it does have a high heat point and it won't get too smoky and burn before your fish is even done. So now that I've coated the pan with some of that sunflower oil, I'm going to go ahead and grab my beautifully crusted fish, and we're going to start to sear it on 2 minutes on each side. And we want a little bit of a medium flame here, nothing too high, because we don't want our crust on the fish to burn. So we let that do its thing for about 2 minutes, and then we'll rotate it. So I usually like to start with the flesh side up for 2 minutes, and then use a pair of tongs and flip it to the side, and then rotate it all the way around for 2 minutes on each side. All right, look how beautiful this crust is on this top side so far. It's pretty perfect if you ask me. And wait a few more minutes so that we can get the same color on all 4 sides. Now, while you're searing off your fish, I recommend to not move it around the pan so much. I know sometimes some of our instincts, we want to look at the fish and move it around, but let's keep it where it is so it can get that nice even sear and that nice golden crust all the way around the fish. It's starting to smell delicious already. That fresh thyme, you can start smelling it activate as it's cooking in the pan in that oil. Go ahead and rotate this over. It looks delicious. Now, while my fish is searing off, I'm going to take a quick peek at my sauce here on the back burner, see how it's doing. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Look at these colors here. So it's at a light simmer. It's not over boiling. We want that to continue to cook down. If your pot of your berry sauce starts to cook over, you can use a kitchen towel and slightly shift the lid open so some of that heat can get out. Now our fish is looking really nice, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and do that final rotation to the side and just wait a few more minutes and then our dish will be done. It's a pretty simple recipe. It's one of my favorites. That crust on the outside of the fish paired with that berry sauce, it's gonna look so beautiful and vibrant, but also it's gonna have so much flavor to it with that fresh thyme, with the sumac, and the pecans add a very, very nice earthy flavor to the fish as well. So it's looking like our fish is finished. It has a nice, beautiful brown crust on all 4 sides. Let me go ahead and see the top part of that. Oh my goodness, it looks so beautiful. I'm going to grab a plate here for my plating, clear some space for our beautiful fish to make its debut. Okay, here we are. Wow, look how gorgeous. She's a star. Look at this. It's beautiful, it's perfect. So next what we'll do is we can go ahead and grab our sauce that's been cooking back here, take the lid off. Oh yeah. Now if you want to cook this down even more, you're totally welcome to do that. I like some of these little chunky parts on there just to add some texture to the dish, but it's going to taste so beautiful and wonderful. Let me grab a spoon and we'll do some serving up here. Oh my gosh, this is going to look so gorge. And put some of the sauce here on top. Oh my goodness. And there we have it. This beautiful white flaky fish has transformed into this golden brown, beautiful crusted fish here with this sauce on top that just looks so vibrant and beautiful. So can you imagine having this on your holiday table? Everyone's gonna be like, ooh, ah, what is that? I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you try this out. And I hope that you are able to add a little bit of culture into your table this holiday with a wajapi sauce made from berries and this indigenous version of a pan-crusted halibut fish.